I don't think I need to review for this audience that we have a problem in the Catholic Church with regard to the sex abuse of minors by priests that came up in a very sensational way in the past year. I've heard others today kind of review that, and so I won't focus on that. I do want to point out in this summary here, which is a summary of the grand jury report that came out last August in Pennsylvania, under 5% of the abuse detailed in that report was what we call fixated pedophilia. That is, abuse that involves victims under 8 years of age. Now, that's a helpful category because people try to distinguish between situational abuse, that is, pedophiles who are attracted according to the age of the victim and not so much the sex of the victim. And they dispute what the upper range is of pedophilia from 9 to 11 or 12 years of age. And that figures into some of the conversations sometimes about whether or not the abuse that was experienced in the Catholic Church was related to homosexual men or not. The John Jay report separated out the victims that were under the age of 8 to talk about this. And that's because even though people argue about whether victims over 8 are victims of pedophiles, everyone agrees if it's a young person under the age of 8, then that's pedophilia and not some other form of abuse. So I just want to point out 95% of the abuse was of victims over the age of 8 in the grand jury report. That is almost identical to what was reported 15, 16 years earlier by the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, when in 2002 they collected data from all the dioceses in the country, aggregated that, reported that in 2 reports, and in those reports it tells us that under 6% of the abuse was fixated pedophilia.